Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one rated sportsbook app out there. I'm your host, Rudo, joined by AJ Hafley.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what up? You can tell he's feeling a little better already. Kind of a weirdly busy day in Avalanche land. A lot of news happening today, so I guess let's just start there. We'll get the other things out of the way as Game 7 and all of that is the main topic of the show. First of all, Avalanche signed Trent Minor, the goaltender prospect. Not super surprising. There were some questions on whether they'd be able to find room for the guy in their system with contract limits, etc.
We'll get into that.
Yep, we can talk about that a little bit more. Also, apparently Alan Heppel no longer the head scout here in Colorado. No announcement on a new head scout or anything just yet, but a little bit of a shakeup happening there. Well, we'll see on that one as well. The Avs might be picking in the late 20s and early 30s quite a bit over the next couple of years. So
this year it's 28th is the highest that they will be picking.
Yep. So I mean, possibly a new scouting direction. It's all speculation at that point. All we know, Alan Heppel is no longer the man at the helm of the scouting department for Colorado in that regard. What we do know is that round 2 of the playoffs, at least for the Avalanche, will start on Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yep.
So the announcement is out there at very least. The Avs still don't know who they will be playing just yet in that game, but
potential round 3 opponents start to take shape too.
Yep, as the reseed limits who exactly they would play if they do in fact move on.
Yeah, based on what we've seen, what has happened so far, they cannot play the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Correct.
So
still more to be potentially shaken up as the Toronto, Montreal, and Carolina, Nashville series do still need to finish up.
Yep.
But
that's obviously looking ahead of a whole round, not to just like skip it, but
yeah.
You know, a thing that we will talk a little bit about as
we get into our main topic of the day as well.
As things really start to take shape here.
Yep. So all that's great. Do you want to start with Trent Minor, or do you want to get into this Game 7 topic?
Let's just do Trent Minor.
All right, cool. So
super cool that he got this contract.
Yeah.
Because a year ago, kind of a mediocre year with the Giants. It was really meh.
He was a goalie prospect that a lot of people were very high on for a guy the Avs got in the 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've told this story a few times, but
yeah.
on draft day that year, I got more messages from people around the league that were excited about Trent Minor, that said Minor was one of Colorado's best picks that year.
Yep.
Outside of the first round, obviously, because that was a Byram Newhook day. So
first of all, there's that. Secondly, his first year as an NHL prospect as D+1, he struggled a bit in Vancouver, failed to take the starting goaltender job that everyone expected him to. And, obviously, pandemic comes along and his entire career is thrown into limbo by that. So there were certainly a lot of question marks around him and his potential contract with the Avalanche. Then he comes back near the end of this season. The WHL comes back, and he kind of goes off in the league.
So 2 things. He got a handful of games with the Eagles.
Yep.
Where he was competitive.
In the AHL, not going to say it was great or anything, but he was solid.
Yeah.
Which, again, young kid.
Keep in mind he was young for the league.
Yep.
Because 19-year-olds in the AHL as goaltenders are just not
Yeah.
You just don't see them.
Literally
they
does
don't
not
exist.
happen.
It's even 20-year-olds are as goaltenders are
ECHL in Europe.
yeah,
This is other things. Yeah.
they're not rare, but they're not seen every
Super
day.
common.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not like every team has one of those guys.
Yep.
So it was a good encouraging performance, and then a good break for him. He goes to the WHL. If he had been an OHL kid, he probably doesn't get this contract.
I think he definitely doesn't. Yeah.
He goes into the WHL and he just dominates. He has a great finish to the season and earns himself an ELC and forces a glut at goaltender.
Yeah. So
does this end spell the end for Shamil Shmakov?
Yeah, this is the final blow, surely.
This was it?
It isn't the clearly fake name used to hide his identity or the fact that he may not actually exist.
Didn't he played somewhere this year? He played in the VHL.
He played in the VHL on a team that played like 7 goalies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Shmakov, sorry, bud, but I don't think it's happening for you.
He has another year, though, just in case.
I'm going to post like a 950 in the KHL just because. But honestly, like when you look at the Avalanche goalie situation through next year, Philip Grubauer is not signed through next year, but that's a conversation. You have Pavel Francouz, Justus Annunen, Hunter Miska, and now Peyton Jones is only on a 1 year, right? So they could leave him if they don't want to re-sign him. But now Trent Minor and Adam Werner is an RFA. So
I think, unfortunately, that's probably where this heads.
Yep.
They could theoretically buy out Hunter Miska.
Yep.
But it would cost them $100K against the cap this year. Why waste the $100K?
Yeah, there's no need to, right?
And then I think it's probably, I hate to say this, but it's probably the end for Adam Werner.
Yeah.
It feels like it didn't take very long. Shortened season and all, but that just feels like the obvious, the organizational glut at the position. You have Grubauer and Francouz, and if you don't have Grubauer, then you have another guy next year.
They're not gonna put any of these dudes into a backup position even.
Right.
Yet.
So it'll either be we'll just say Grubauer and Francouz.
Yeah.
Because if it's not Grubauer, it'll be a different NHL goaltender. So those two are pretty much set. Dubnyk they can let walk. What do you do about Johansson at this point? He showed well enough for you. You traded for him. He's 25 years old. Do you bring him back?
Whatever. He can be your third goaltender, or any other dude that's passable in the NHL can be your third goaltender. It doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, well, if you let Johansson go, then your AHL guys are...
But it's the same... Johansson is the same conversation as Grubauer, though, right? Like, if you let him go, you go out and get a different third goaltender.
Do you?
I mean, if Colorado was run by you and me...
You still have Annunen. All right.
Annunen is 100% unproven in North America, though.
No. But I'm just saying, organizationally, like, we'll be in the AHL or ECHL next year.
Yeah, sure.
And it would be so stupid to put him in the ECHL because he needs to learn.
Yeah, definitely don't. Grizzlies play on international ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad. He'll be in the AHL.
So, Annunen. So we'll just start. You have Annunen and Miska. There's two guys who are already under contract.
Yep.
Okay, and then Werner is an RFA, and now you just signed Trent Minor.
Yeah, I mean,
so
realistically,
even if you let Werner go, which guys in the East, and then you bring back Johansson, which guy is in the ECHL then? Is it Annunen? Is it Miska? Is it Johansson?
I would okay, so there's multiple ways that they could do this, right? My immediate theory is it'd be Miska and Minor in the ECHL. But we've seen them in years past run a floating third goaltender in the ECHL. And granted, this was a third goaltender that they never really had any intention to play. But when they went to Sweden, they called him all the way up from the ECHL to be a warm body for a third goaltender. I forget his name because I forget his name. I want to say it was Nathan, but that's my name. So I'm not 100% sure on his name. But it's something the Avs have done before where they're willing to have this warm body third goaltender that they kind of float all throughout the organization.
Okay, so which one of those guys does that?
That would be JoJo.
Okay.
If you keep JoJo, he's your third goaltender. However you want to get to that. But he'd be the guy that they call up to sit on the bench if one of Grubauer and Francouz got hurt, I imagine.
What really hurts you here is the 2-year Miska deal.
Yep. That second year is brutal.
Yeah.
It's partially that, and I think it's also partially the fact that they didn't get to see Adam Warner at the NHL level at all this year.
They made the choice not to see Adam Warner
right.
at the NHL level.
I get it. They made their decision on that before now. Like, that decision was made when they decided not to play him this year.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. It's why we're assuming he's probably not an Av next year.
Yeah, I mean, I just think with the numbers being what they are, if they bring him back, you have 7 goaltenders.
Yep.
That's a lot of goaltender contracts.
It's one too many. That the 7 means you have 2 in the NHL, 2 in the AHL, 2 in the ECHL, and another one.
And yeah, and then another guy. Like,
yeah.
It's great for the Grizzlies.
True. Utah vibing.
Yeah. Good looking out for the Grizzlies.
So that is certainly interesting. Look, happy for Minor. Hope he can show his stuff.
Love it. I think it's awesome for him.
Yep. A little bit of an interesting conversation, which we can probably talk about this on another day in full, but still waiting on the Sasha Mutala contract.
It's turning into a decent little draft class.
Yep.
What is it? Likely now just Berzan not getting signed?
Yeah, and we talked about a potential AHL deal for that guy. So, yeah, I think it's just Berzan and Mutala at the moment. Yep. I guess Steinberg too, but they have multiple years left to sign him if they.
Yeah, I mean he's still.
Yeah, and Hellison will get signed eventually. So whatever. Yeah, but anyway, draft class is starting to roll in for the Avalanche as far as 2019 is concerned.
Yeah, that will be so. Next year they'll have Byram, Newhook, Bocage. We're assuming Mutala.
Yep.
And then Minor.
Yeah, and with Hellison and potentially Steinberg on the way, and then Berzan in the middle there.
Oof. That's solid.
Not answer from Twitter. If you mean like the live chat, we see your chats.
Yeah.
If you're commenting on a tweet, probably not.
Today it's been you guys firing off a lot of questions, not relevant to the topic that we are on to start the show.
Yep.
But things that we will get to as we get into the show.
We're working through it. Through it, chat.
You guys want to talk about Game 7, and that's going to be the meat of the podcast. So we started with the quicker topic up here.
Get this stuff out of the way first.
Yeah.
It is a little bit interesting. At this very moment, the Avs currently sit at 49 of 50 contracts. according to Cap Friendly.
And then next year, I believe they have they don't have Minor up there yet, so it'll be 28.
So,
but that also counts Foodie, so it's still really 27.
Yeah, because Foodie's will slide, assuming he goes back to the.
This is what I think we should do for tomorrow's show.
Sure. Break down the organizational depth.
Yeah, I think we should try and build next year's roster and look at the contract limits and see exactly where they are.
Do Miska or Werner have any trade value? Absolutely not. Gustav Olhaver going to get in the NHL time next year. What a pull. Gustav Olhaver is technically a free agent now.
Good for him.
If someone wants to sign him and play him in the NHL, absolutely. He could get some NHL time, but that's not going to happen. In any case, we can take our first period break there, as we are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. AJ, you got a good bet for game one? I know you're not a big hockey bettor, but feeling any vibes?
I think it'll be low scoring. I would take the under.
Low scoring. All right. We're going to vibe with AJ. Take our DraftKings pick of the week. We're taking the under in game one, whether it be Vegas or Minnesota. Does not matter. Go take the under. Get on a DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up with code DNVR to get amazing odds boosts every single day. And right now, you can also get the 40-1 odds bet on any basketball game. If the team you pick wins, you bet $5. You get the 40-1 odds. That's $200 in free bets that you can pick up. Super awesome. They do these things pretty regularly, so you can regularly get in on some crazy odds boosts as well as their normal ones. They're super safe, secure, and reliable, so jump on that as well. Again, use code DNVR when you sign up and download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. You bet on all the major sports and a bunch of crazy minor ones as well. Limited time only, new customers only, Colorado only, must be 21 or older. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by Gabby Insurance. That's GABI.com/DNVR. Gabby stands for Get a Better Insurance. Super easy to use, really awesome as well. You just jump over there. Completely free. Get in there, set up what you have for home and auto insurance, and they will tell you how you can save hundreds, in some cases thousands of dollars, simply by switching your insurance. So they're super awesome. There's nothing to it. You just jump on there and do it, and they're like, hey, this is how you save a bundle of money. Not too many sites out there like that can do that for you. So check out Gabby.com/DNVR today and put your policy to the test, just like many of us here at DNVR have done. And take that saved money and sign up for a DNVR annual membership to get all of our amazing content. You also get access to the DNVR Lounge, a free shirt and mask along with your membership if you do get the annual one, and a bunch of other awesome stuff as well. Big beers at the bar, the list goes on. If you haven't checked us out yet, if you haven't supported us, middle of the playoffs is a pretty good time to do it. That's all I'm saying. P.S. Come to the bar for games because the bar is dope.
True. I am, holy crap, 3 guys on Vegas's COVID list today.
Ooh, boy.
Yesterday it was Braden McNabb. Today it is Braden McNabb, Ryan Reeves, and Peyton Krebs. Okay. Jason Magna is the only one still for Colorado.
And so far have dodged more. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have a ton to say on Alan Heppel at the moment, AJ?
I think, again, maybe this folds better into a more extended look tomorrow, where we can kind of get into
the team that the Avs built and yada yada
yada. Yeah, the Avs drafting history with Alan Heppel. All I will say is that, look, me personally, I had a good relationship with Hep. I really liked him. I really liked the dude. I'm just selfishly disappointed. That's a guy that that's made it very easy to talk to him about a lot of things. My favorite Hep memory is probably running into him in the bar in Vegas one year and talking to him about Jack Hughes the year before Jack Hughes's draft year when they had Ottawa's pick. That was fun. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Wade Klippenstein is he would have been my guess. He was a guy that really banged the table hard for Cale Makar back in 2017, and you could see the lean towards the WHL the last couple of years, and really Western in general. He's had an obviously louder voice in there, so he's the next guy that gets to do that job. And wherever Hep goes, he'll probably do a good job there too. And hopefully, I would love to try. I'm gonna try and get in touch with him. It'd be great to have him on the pod just to come and tell stories someday.
That'd be dope. Any case, as Chad is alluding to, and we have a super chat here. Should we get into the Vegas-Minnesota series? Game 7 coming up tomorrow night. Jacob Hill asks, is Talbot really playing this good, or is VGK offense underperforming this bad?
Both.
Yep. A little bit of both, I think, for sure.
Yep.
I mean, just take a look at how Game 5 and Game 6 played out in that series. Game 5, Vegas absolutely shells Minnesota. I think Minnesota ended the game with 14 shots on goal or something absurd, and a 3-2 win to Vegas is like 38. Pretty darn good performance from Cam Talbot there.
Yeah, and look, Cam Talbot's the guy, he's a guy that we all know, and we all have kind of mentally slotted into a certain tier as a starting goaltender in the NHL.
Yep.
He has outperformed that tier this season.
Sure, no doubt about it. But on the other side of the coin, you have Game 6, where shots end up being 24-23 across the entire game in Minnesota's favor.
Yeah.
The one goal that Vegas scored gets called back for. What did you think of that goalie interference? Have you seen it?
Yep, I watched it live before I even knew that they were looking at it. I thought it was goalie interference because Alex Tuch willingly puts himself in the crease.
Yep.
The entire time, and he just stays there. Like Matt Dumba obviously also has position there, but Tuch doesn't fight him at all. Tuch doesn't make any attempt to get out of there, and his skates are in the crease the entire time. So does he make physical contact with the goaltender? Not much. Not much at all. But
it's pretty clear that his position in the crease made it impossible for Talbot to actively set up in position as the puck came across to the right side of the ice, near side, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was worth a second look when I saw it live, because his skates were in the crease the entire time.
Yep.
And for me, the way that they have, the one thing that they kind of do have going for them with the goaltender interference calls over the last few years, if you're in the crease, they consider that preventing the goaltender from playing his position.
If there's any contact, basically.
Yeah. And last night, I think, was an interesting test case for that, because he willingly puts himself in the crease and stays there the entire time.
Yep.
At no point did he ever fully exit the crease. He was in the crease. At least one of his skates was touching blue at all times, the entire sequence. Did he really make physical contact with the goalie? Really not really, honestly. It was really limited. And then you also had Matt Dumba there playing defense, who kind of boxes him in, right? But Tuch doesn't fight to get out of the way. He doesn't try and remove himself from the situation. At the same time, Talbot also doesn't try and move him. If he's being prevented from playing his position, he sure didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I completely understood where they were coming from. I completely understood it. Now, the fact that there was no contact is really the part of that call that bothers me. But I'll say limited contact. I don't want to say none.
I don't think there was none. I think the point that you're getting at, though, is the way that the goal ultimately goes in. It comes from a side angle, right? Like, if Talbot had not moved across all the way to Tuck's side of the crease and had just stayed in the middle of the ice, he probably sees the puck and makes the save easily. So the goalie interference comes down to, did Tuck standing in the crease and whatever contact there was prevent Talbot from recovering and making that save later, after the fact, after the actual contact itself? And I think that's a bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
It's always going to be judgmenty and tough to make that call.
Yeah, and people are gonna feel strongly on both sides of a call that has merits on both sides. For me, I get it. Is it the right or the wrong call? It's not. Luckily, it's not my job to litigate that.
Yep.
But I certainly understood where the league was coming from.
Yeah.
Me personally, I thought that was interference, but I'm open-minded to the other side of it.
It's not one in an off season where it feels like the refs have missed some blatant stuff. That's not one of them.
They're just letting some of the cross checks that happened in the Isles pens.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, guys.
Bit nonsensical, to say the least.
Yeah, come on. What's happening here?
In any case, they do play Game 7 Friday night. Who you got? Who you taking, first of all? Who do you think wins Game 7? And secondly, who do you think the Avs want to win Game 7?
I think Minnesota is the lesser team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Minnesota is the reason that Minnesota is competitive with Vegas is because they have the same weaknesses.
Putting puck in net.
Well, they don't have neither team really has a really, really, really good center.
True.
Like Eric Stanek has had a great breakout year. He's really important to the Wild. But that right there is why I call that a weakness. Is because Eric Stanek is really important to the Wild. Like
there's not 1C production there.
Yeah. Well, he's a good player.
Yep.
I'm just not no, Anthony. I don't read The Athletic personally.
I read the headline, but I didn't read the article. Yeah. And
yeah. Anyway. I don't. It's Minnesota. Just they have a really good top four that can go head to head with the Vegas top four on defense.
Yep.
They've got a goaltender having a career year in Cam Talbot and in Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep.
They're each getting great play from the same areas of their team. And then their best offensive players are wings. And it's hard for those guys to drive offense in the postseason when teams game plan to lock them down. And you're seeing, look, Kaprizov has struggled to be an impact guy. Mark Stone has struggled to be an impact guy. It's been a lower scoring series because they have the same problems. It's
offensive throughput can be tough to come by.
Yeah.
And
I just where I have liked consistently, where I have liked the Avalanche against either one of these teams is down the middle. Now, not having Nazem Kadri hurts that quite a bit. Having this maniacal version of Tyson Jost helps that. But having Nathan McKinnon is the ultimate trap card for the Avalanche. That's the advantage that they will have in every single series except against Toronto or Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And
especially with Pittsburgh out now.
Yeah, well, and like you look at any other team still in the postseason. The Avalanche
talent, even in the same tier of caliber of Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, the Bergeron at this stage of his career going to get eaten up by Mac.
Yep.
You know how I know that? Because we just watched it happen with Ryan O'Reilly.
Too true.
Carolina doesn't have that guy down the middle. Winnipeg would be interesting because their team strength is Connor Hellebuck and their top six. But I think the Avs would be able to exploit them pretty badly. In the same way that I expect Toronto will.
After the other night, lucky we don't have a Manscaped read today for the Winnipeg.
All I know is that seltzer can in the stands was my favorite part of all of those overtimes. That guy was awesome. And I love that the social media manager for that promotion tweeted out, "Don't worry, guys, I'm okay." Because there were long stretches towards the end of second overtime where he didn't move. And I was like, the dude fell asleep in the suit, didn't he? He fell asleep in that suit. He's getting paid right now. So anyway, yeah, the Kadri appeal was today. Hopefully we have a decision by the start of game one, and there will be an idea of Kadri's availability this series or, not.
Yep.
He's already got 2 games served, so
at most there's 6 left.
Yep. Boy, would the ultimate redemption story be for that guy to come back in a game 7 and have a huge game 7?
Go off, yeah.
Yeah. Boy.
That would be something.
Yeah. How quickly do we think about Bettman? I have no idea. I don't know how long this process takes. This is not something that happens all the time.
Yeah. Look, appeals have to get an arbitrator involved. There's a whole lot of moving parts going on there, so who knows?
Yeah. So, who do you think takes game 7?
I think Vegas does.
Yeah, me too.
As much as Ian's not going to be happy about it in the chat, I think Vegas gets over the hump. They're at home.
I think Ian would be excited for approximately 48 hours. And then game 1 is going to start.
Well, yeah. We'll see. The Avs play on Sunday, so I guess, it'd be like 45 hours or something. But in any case, I think Vegas is going to take it. I think they just have a bigger talent pool to pull from. They have certainly more recent experience in Game 7 successes, even if one of them did involve an interesting 5-minute major penalty call.
The Wild have never lost Game 7.
Also true, but they haven't been in a Game 7 in a minute, so
yeah,
there's some pulling.
Thought it was crazy. 3rd straight year that Vegas has gone up 3-1 in a series and then had to go to a Game 7.
Yep.
That's wild to me.
2 game lead, the most dangerous lead in hockey, confirmed.
Yeah. Well, that's why they always tell you that the last game is the hardest one, right? The 4th game.
Yep. To get over the hump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, look, without Pacioretty.
Yeah, without Pacioretty,
always a question mark for Vegas.
I really like Colorado against Vegas without Pacioretty. With Pacioretty, they're a much bigger problem.
Yep. Obviously, the current COVID protocol stuff is interesting. Look, losing Reeves and McNabb isn't the hugest impact
I mean,
on
that
their
hurts.
lineup. It does, but it's not like earth-shattering for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Avs losing Ryan Graves. Like, he plays an important role for your team, but
yep,
he's not one of your absolute top guys. So
here's the question everyone is asking. Thank you for the super chat, Anna. Worried about time off. Saw that it's been 20 plus years since a team that swept in the first round won the second round against a team that went to 7. So
it's happened 5 times.
Yeah, that's a
5
series sample size, and in at least 4 of those series, the better team on paper won the series.
Yeah.
So take that with a grain of salt is the way that I'll put it. Look, it is going to be a week off for Colorado. Nonetheless, we talked about
rusty.
They'll be a little bit rusty. They have been able to practice, though, 1. And 2, they start at home, and there's going to be even more people in Ball Arena for this round. So they will have a little bit of a crowd behind them as well.
We're up to 10.5 now?
10.5, yep. So then that could continue to increase. We'll see how many people they end up putting in there, but for game 1, it looks like it's going to be 10.5.
Yep.
As well as the Nuggets game tonight, I think we'll have that number as well. So,
game 2, we don't know when that will be yet because, for one, they haven't announced the full schedule, but the Nuggets supposedly play their game 5 on Tuesday.
Interesting.
So probably looking at 2 days off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or back to back.
That would be stupid.
Especially given that it's unannounced. That would be quite dumb.
Yeah. And because the NBA they have no reason not to. There's 2 days between games. The NBA can easily move game 5 on a Monday.
You're into the division finals.
So
it's why compete with the NBA? That'd be so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can take our second period break there, as this podcast is brought to you by Solace Meds. You can check them out online at solacemeds.com. That's SOLACE meds.com. Use code DNVR20 to get 20% off when you buy online. And you can go in and pick it up from one of the 4 locations in Colorado, one in Fort Collins, Wheat Ridge, one off of Broadway, just a couple blocks from the DNVR bar as well. So, look, it's easy. They can get you whatever you need. You can get in, you can pick it up, and you can get out. You don't have to sit around inside, go through the whole messy process, get your stuff. And they offer not only the 20%, but on things like Memorial Day, which is coming up here, you can get buy 3, get 1 free on the entire store. So great deals, great products. Check out Solace Meds if you haven't already. They have other select products that are 20% off, some 2 for $25 options. Just a bunch of amazing deals. If you haven't checked them out yet, go over there, get yourself some Solace Meds, and get what you need. Also, Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD infused coffee, which you can get cold brew at the DNVR bar. When you love it, you can go online and get 25% off when you use code DNVR25 at checkout. It's an awesome deal. Super easy. Just get your coffee and drink it. Do your thing all the way around. And then go to Green Mountain Dental Group, the best family dentist in the Denver metro area, just 15 minutes from downtown over in Lakewood. We've had dozens of people switch, and they've all said it's one of the best dental experiences of their lives. They will give you a free Sonicare toothbrush just for scheduling a cleaning, x-ray, and exam. Nothing fancy, just take care of your teeth, and you get yourself a free Sonicare electric toothbrush. Third period, the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Looks like most of chat not too worried about the layoff for the Avalanche.
Really, no reason to be. There's just it's not like a COVID pause where you can't do anything. You're sitting around, and then it's like, okay, now you have to go from 0 to 100. They're going to go from like 70 to 100. I fully expect the first 5 or 10 minutes of game 1 will be sloppy.
Period 1 will be a feel-out period anyway. It's whatever.
Or the Avs will just do that thing where they roll in and they feed off of all the crazy energy in the crowd, and they drop 3 goals in the first period, and they cruise in game 1.
As Chet suspects, Mikko has a week off, so guaranteed 3-point night for him. Like,
yeah. We'll see.
So, either way, whatever opponent the Avs face, it should be fun.
They had a full practice yesterday.
Yeah.
Today was optional.
I believe they took Monday off, and then Tuesday was optional, and then Wednesday was full practice. Yeah.
Today was
another optional.
Yeah. And even with these optionals, like half the team is skating.
Yep.
So I expect that they will get. I expect tomorrow another optional, and then Saturday a full.
Yeah, and then
or
game day, or flip them, or whatever.
Yeah. Or what they do is they have full practice tomorrow, and then day off on Saturday.
Yep.
Maybe day off tomorrow, and then video prep on Saturday, since they'll know their opponent on Saturday. That actually makes most sense.
I mean, should we get into that conversation? Is there significantly different prep for the Avalanche depending on which team wins tomorrow night?
Significantly different? No. Again, Minnesota and Vegas are stylistically too similar
enough, yeah.
At least in their construction in terms of strengths and weaknesses. That's where the Avalanche are going to want to attack is going to be pretty much the same. Now, is there a difference between the way they do it? Their defense, the Vegas defense, I think is a little bit better than Minnesota's, but Minnesota's is
more threatening.
I think a little more mobile.
Yeah.
From there, stop Kaprizov.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. You shut down Kaprizov, you cut off that valve, and then okay. Yeah. Should be good.
Yeah, the Vegas one, again, it's a little bit weird, right? Because is Pacioretty realistically capable of returning?
Yeah. His status certainly changes how dangerous they are because the Stone Pacioretty combination, like hard, carried Chandler Stevenson to a career year.
Yep.
And we've seen without Pacioretty there as the glue on that line that they've come apart.
Yeah.
That Mark Stone has struggled more than we're used to seeing, and that Chandler Stevenson is just like a donut right now.
Hate to see it.
Which look like this. These are all really, really, really good reminders that you build down the middle.
Yep.
And if you end up with a crazy talented wing like a Kaprizov, like a Mark Stone, and a Max Pacioretty, like great,
you use it, but
great. That's not a problem. But you have to build down the middle, and those are the guys that drive play. It's why you don't see, it's Jerome McGinley never won a Stanley Cup for a reason. What did it take for Alex Ovechkin to win it? They had to be in the heart of Backstrom and Kuznetsov's careers.
Yep.
And obviously like they went up against some pretty good Pittsburgh teams over and over and over.
Didn't help.
But it's like all of this is just like fundamental stuff where you look at how you succeed in NHL history. How do you win cups? You do it by building down the middle.
Defense down the middle. Yep.
Yeah. Teams with elite defenses and teams with elite centers raise the cup. It's really hard to do it without that.
Yep.
So
I don't understand your question exactly, Steven. Who is your game one Shen equivalent?
The guy that Landeskog beats up to try and set the tone? I don't know, man.
You trying to say that? Are you trying to say the guy who disappears for the series? I don't know. I don't know exactly, but
yeah. I mean, there's a number of both teams are littered with guys that'll pull some stuff.
No doubt.
So it's all good.
I mean, just look at that series.
Yeah.
Game 6, there was
Although
a scrum every whistle, but
it is funny that like Game 6 was like the least physical game of that series. Scrums after the play aside, but otherwise, like that was just not a very physical game. It was like the teams just got tired of it after the first 4 games. They're like, we're really sick of hitting each other. We're not getting anywhere. It's not making any difference.
Turns out my body starts to hurt, man. I'm gonna stop doing that.
Yeah. So I think that wear and tear has already started with them.
Yep.
It'll be, and with no time off.
Yeah, they get the 1 day off only.
Yeah. And that, so they, what? If Minnesota wins, they probably just fly straight to Denver, right?
Yeah, I would imagine they go straight to Denver.
Have an off day,
and then morning skate on Sunday. Yeah.
Off day, they do video at the hotel, and then
pretty quick turnaround for them.
Wouldn't make any sense to go back to Minnesota. Like you go back to Minnesota that night,
fly over Denver to get there.
Yeah, like you go back to Minnesota that night, and then like wake up the next morning and fly to Denver. Like, what's the point?
Patch's status unknown, Cygnus.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question from Brian. Not sure if it was talked about, but is there an Av you think needs to bring another level in round 2?
Andre Burakovsky.
Yep. I think, honestly, the entire second line, whoever ends up making up that line.
Yeah. I thought Donskoy was really good in 2 of the games and mediocre in a third and a ghost in the 4th.
Yep.
If he can repeat that, I will take that.
Take it.
Yeah.
But that's where Burakovsky and insert whoever you want at 2C need to pick up the slack for that second line in the round 2 series.
Yeah, Burakovsky 100% has to pick it up.
Yep.
The McKinnon line, I'm not going to say they're not going to pop off in the second round, but you fully expect that there will be.
You can't expect 9 points in 4 games to be par for the course.
Like you're not expecting those guys to continue to average 2 points a game.
Yeah.
You know, like there will be games where they score 1 goal or no goals, and you know how do you win that game is the question. The Avs won it in St. Louis. They did just fine.
Production, yeah.
Yep, that was game 3. They got those answers. So if Brandon Saad's going to continue doing this thing, great. It's just going to make it more reason for them to try and keep him.
feel like
tomorrow when we try and build the roster, we're going to have a really hard time keeping that.
Be like, well, now they have to pay Brandon Saad. Well, Grubauer to $6 million deal. Well, gonna be tough, to say the least, to try and keep the entire band together. But
yeah,
that's a problem for after the playoffs, right? You got a different goal in mind at the moment.
Yeah. So for me, it starts with Burakovsky, but low key, Sam Gerard. I would also.
He needs to be better for sure.
Not that he was poor against the Blues, but Colorado's those 3 defensemen is their big like ace in the
hole. Yeah, for sure.
Basically, everybody has like top players at this point, right?
Yep.
So you need your top players to beat their top players. In this case, between Minnesota and Vegas, each of them have really good defenses. So you need your defense to match their defense.
Well, look, I think the hierarchy of the Avs defense in that round 1 series, immediately Cale Makar sets the tone, scores the first goal of the series.
Yeah.
He does every so often in every game. He's just going to do Cale Makar shit.
Yep.
That you've come to know that.
In a best of 7 series, the other team is hoping that it doesn't happen more than twice.
Yep. And then you have Tase and Gerard. And Gerard had 1 good game in this series, I think. The other 3 were okay to fair.
Varying degrees of acceptable.
Yeah. And then you
want more from that.
You do. You want definitely more from Gerard, I think, particularly offensively. And then you have Tase, which was a weird one for me because defensively his stick work was beautiful all series long, but his puck movement wasn't quite where you wanted it to be. Yeah. I think
the puck management in the defensive zone from Taves led to some issues.
Yep,
there were some big turnovers from him that you don't expect. Like if Patrick Nemeth is making that, or Ryan Graves is making that turnover, you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, this is.
Yep, it's the bottom pairing.
Here these guys go again, right?
Yep.
But when Devon Taves does it, it's like, oh, this is a gift from the gods from the other team.
Yep.
You know, that's where they capitalize. That's where those things end up in the back of your net.
Yep. So.
Especially because when he makes those mistakes, it's almost always against the other team's top players.
Yeah. And look, again, the same story as Gerard. It's not like Taves had a game where he really stood out as awful.
Oh, God, no. We weren't even close to that.
But when the Avs get the best out of those three, how do you beat them? I mean, they're such a good team when those three are firing.
Yeah, when those three guys are at their best and Nathan McKinnon's line is awake, Colorado is the best team in the NHL.
Yep. I think that's a very, very good way to put it.
Yep. Then you can beat them. You can still beat them. You just have to play your absolute best.
Yep.
But yeah, when those things are going at the same time, oh my goodness. I tell you,
this is. Let me phrase it this way: are there any concerns about Philip Grubauer's rebound control still? Because on the whole, Grubauer was plenty good in the series.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I don't have any issues with Phil Grubauer right now. Just keep rolling, big fella.
Yeah, cool. So
my biggest concern would be the combination of Nemeth and Timmins. Nemeth in the second half of the series picked his game up quite a bit.
It got better. He
still some issues, but again, those will always be there.
The way you've consistently put it was he started to do the good things in his game. There were positives to take. There's always going to be negatives with a player like that. That's just the reality of it. But the positives make up for it is the concept.
Yep.
And in games 3 and 4, there were some positives that you could take.
Yep.
Still don't love it, but you're gonna live with it. Certainly his PK work was fantastic.
Yeah, and Ryan Graves picked it up in the second half of that series too. It was way better.
Dude was vibing.
Timmins at this point needs to have a game where it's not like, well, he's getting to play because they just swept a series with that lineup in it.
Yep.
Bo Byram's ready to go. And it's no knock against Connor Timmins.
But he's not Bo Byram.
You've got to find a way to get Bo and Byram back into your lineup. That's your team at its absolute best.
Yep.
Your team is better with Byram in there. Let him figure it out, make his mistakes, whatever. The only real concern that I have with Byram is that he was a little penalty prone. And you don't want that, obviously.
Definitely a quick way to find yourself in a hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, but you know my feelings on it. Drop him in for game 3, guaranteed goal. Yeah, look. This is you're nitpicking a sweep lineup, as you already mentioned, to try and optimize it. But on the one hand, yes, the Avs are the best team in the league when they're firing. On the other, it's the little advantages that do make the difference in a playoff series. No disrespect to Minnesota, but particularly Colorado and Vegas are 1 and 2 after the regular season.
Yep.
So if Vegas does do the thing, this could potentially be the hardest opponent the Avs face.
With the way that the postseason is shaping up right now,
as the semifinals not fully decided, but
yeah, I think we can get into that a little bit more later. But look, right now, let's just we'll make a couple of assumptions here. Carolina finishes off Nashville.
Yep.
Toronto finishes off Montreal.
Yep.
Okay. Getting into the next round, that would set up the Avs would then play in a round 3 matchup. The Avs would play either Winnipeg if they upset Toronto, or the winner of the Islanders Boston series. Those would be the only 3 opponents if the results hold true to right now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where if the Avs get past whoever, Vegas or Minnesota, right now the likeliest opponent to me is the Islanders or Boston.
Yep.
And then if Winnipeg is able, if Connor Hellebuyck continues to be Super Saiyan and shuts down Toronto and Winnipeg gets past them, then I'm in my personal hell. and it's Winnipeg and Colorado.
Yep.
And I don't have a fiance for a week and a half. Let's be honest. It's a week. That'll be a quick series.
Ooh, already throwing jabs. He's already throwing jabs out here. House in Winnipeg gonna have a mysterious burning accident or something.
I like that. I've slept on that couch a few times. It's comfy enough.
All right, well, the house can stay, I guess.
Yeah.
In any case, it's hard, right? Because you don't want to jump ahead to conclusions or anything.
Don't make me laugh. See, it hurts. Oh, it hurts.
She knows you're weak.
That was karma. That was karma for talking shit about a series that's still 2 weeks from starting, if it happens at all.
Instant karma.
Oh, that hurts.
Any case, we can kind of start to wrap up today's show. Vegas or Minnesota? Avs in 5? Avs in 6?
Against Minnesota, Avs in 5. Against Vegas with Pacioretty, Avs in 6. Without Pacioretty, Avs in 5.
All right. None of those numbers are 7, so I like it. We'll do a little bit of a quick rapid fire here on the other series. Who do you like? Toronto and Pittsburgh. No, this is my bracket. What am I looking at? Pittsburgh's eliminated. I'm dumb. Who do you like in New York and Boston?
Head versus heart.
Yeah, I know this is tough for you. I know this is tough for you.
If it's a low penalty series, the Islanders.
Avoid the special teams.
If it's called like the regular season, Boston.
Okay. All right. Let's assume Carolina does the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina or Tampa?
Tampa.
Yeah. I want to pick Carolina. I do, but I can't.
Yep.
And then you kind of already made your stance clear on Winnipeg and likely Toronto.
Yeah, I think I like Toronto in it, but I think that actually has potential. A chance to be a pretty good series, but Winnipeg's going to have to play better. Everybody's been like, lol, Edmonton, right? But like 3 overtime games. Like they were a flip of a coin away from that series result basically being the exact opposite.
And that's with McDavid in no way, shape, or form going off. So.
Yeah, McDavid has a 3-point game in game 3, and the Oilers lose.
Yep.
And people are like, "LOL, Connor McDavid," and it's like, what can the guy do here? You know, I went through and I looked at McDavid's 5v5 numbers, and they're all like 60%.
Astronomical. Yeah.
like scoring chances is like 72%. And it's
Winnipeg
like,
just surviving when he's out there, and then the rest of the team is like, okay, whatever.
yeah.
So plenty can change over the course of a round, no doubt about it. But
yeah, we'll see how it goes. The Leafs without JT but against Winnipeg would be interesting. And I saw JT was on the ice today.
yep,
If he comes back, obviously that's a big.
they're significantly better. Full
Yeah,
stop. Yeah,
of course. Like that caliber of player into your lineup is huge. Without him, I think the advantage that Toronto has down the middle goes away. Matthews is better than Scheifele, but Kerfoot's not better than Dubois or Stasny.
Yeah, that's fair. I have no argument.
I really would like. I think that's going to be I think that's going to be a really fun series.
Maybe a bit run and gun for sure, but
yeah, I think it's going to be a fun series, man.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping that Montreal gets out of the way because watching them is brutal. They play in second gear.
Yep.
Every shift of every game. Always. There is no jump in that lineup. There's nothing dynamic happening. There's nothing fun. There's no urgency.
Hey, now Paul Byron's fun.
That one goal he scored was awesome.
He's fun all the time. He just needs a little bit more talent, and then he'd be really fun. But in any case, I guess we're going to get out of here for the day. Excited for round 2 and the end of round 1 to finish up here, I suppose, first before round 2 kicks off. But there's a reason they play the hockey games. That's all I'm going to say. No matter what the paper says, no matter what we say, no matter what anybody says, the beauty of hockey is that anything can happen. So I hope y'all will join us as we watch way too much hockey over the next couple of weeks, Avalanche related or not. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll have some not watch parties, but some impromptu DNVR bar and hockey chill nights in round 2.
Yeah, depending on how the ribs feel tomorrow, I would like to go to the bar tomorrow night for Vegas and Minnesota game 7. So there's a decent chance I'm down there tomorrow.
Don't count that one as 100%, but
yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
entirely dependent on if I can breathe or not.
A great chance to plug our Twitters, as I'm sure AJ will give you updates on whether he's going on Twitter. So follow him at AJ Haefele. Follow me at Nathan_Rudolph. Follow the DNVR Avalanche account for the best pregame memes ever. Confirmed.
It's pretty funny. You get to the bar, you set up your battle station.
Yep. The first thing I do every time is like,
you sit down and you pull up the list of memes and you're like, what should I make today?
Gotta post my meme. Anyway, thank you, chat, for watching, consuming the podcast however you may. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the playoffs. I know I see a bunch of names in here I don't necessarily recognize. So you guys liking and subscribing helps us out a ton on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, other than that, have a great rest of your Thursday. We will be back tomorrow, probably looking at the Avs situation. And then we will probably give you a makeup podcast on Saturday, breaking down probably the Avs opponent and getting more in-depth with specific matchups.
And then Sunday
night will be post-game pod time. Yeah,
one post-game pod.
So there you go.
To be determined if I am there for that one or not. We'll see.
Yeah, you and Evan got to figure that out.
We have to figure out our covering the game in person schedule.
Yep. So keep it tuned in, and we will see all of y'all next time.